A partially valid, a half-truth, if you will, is
Yeah.
being pushed.
I can't wait to find out all sorts of new and exciting things I didn't know about myself.
So you just hate Jews, bro.
Yeah, you're
It's
just an anti-Semite. Congratulations.
You're
Go
not
join.
an-
What would you say?
Exactly.
Well, that's different. It's not different. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's
That just we are the only society on earth who has the obligation to self-destruct, to blame ourselves for every problem that has ever existed, and we just think of ourselves as the worst human beings who are responsible for every bad.
How many Muslims are trying to stop Boko Haram? How many Muslims were confronting ISIS? How many Muslims, the extremists always win. So the peaceful majority, which I know many, they're irrelevant.
Good morning, Misfits. All right, I feel a lot better today. I felt like I was microwaved yesterday. Anybody ever have that where you're hot on the outside, cold in the middle? Yeah, that sunburn was no joke. It was no joke. I feel like I got a good day of recovery, and we are back at, well, I'm never at 100%, but I'd say I'm back to my baseline. How's everybody doing today? All right, chats. We got Kit Kat, Mar, Roadrunner 513, Zach. Hello, Zach. Happy belated birthday. Thank you very much. I am 41 and I feel way older. Yeah, definitely older. Not younger. Definitely older. What's up, Elaine Jimenez, K Hart, Lungta, Fun Monty Hodges. How's everybody doing this morning? Okay, so let's get into the daily breakdown. All right, so for those of you that have never seen the daily breakdown before, we have a theme of the day, and today is TDS Tuesday. And let's talk about the Trump effect, okay? So I'm sure that you've heard the analogy before, right? The rooting against the country because you don't like the president is kind of like rooting for your plane to crash because you don't like the pilot. And we've been seeing this on full display lately. Here's me walking up to Trump, the pilot, saying, hope the Wi-Fi works. And then a couple of little liberals behind me saying, I hope the plane crashes. And we've been seeing this on full display, especially lately with the war in Iran. We've seen everybody sort of hoping Trump fails at this, move, whatever you want to call it. This foreign policy, this interventionist strategy. We saw it very short-lived with Maduro, but you saw the people that would be like, why did we even go in and get Maduro? I've explained all this to you, right? For those that don't watch the show, it's all connected, okay? It really is. It's all connected. I mean, the even going down to naming Antifa a domestic terrorist organization, that's connected to this. A lot of it's connected to this. Trump has been making these moves, and there's so many people that just cannot give him credit. And look, here's the way I describe it, right? Let's go full screen for this one. All right, this is an analogy I use often, so if you've heard it before, I apologize. But look, imagine if you were in a relationship with somebody and you caught them cheating, okay? You caught them cheating, let's say with your best friend in your bed. You just you can't ever look at that person like they're a good person. Like you can't even, so that same person, who cheated with your best friend, ruined your life, and you can change the analogy. Somebody robbed you, somebody, ran over your dog. I don't know, but that person can do amazing things, and you will not give them credit for it because you don't like that person. It does not change the fact that the person is doing good things. They did something bad to you, right? Now, Trump never actually did anything bad to most of these people, but they think he did. They feel it, right? The media and the Democrats convinced them he did. they have a form of post-traumatic stress disorder. It's called Trump derangement syndrome. It's actually been categorized by many in the medical community as a serious mental disorder. So these people that hope the plane crashes, they can never be happy. They can never be satisfied because it's something in them. Understand, that's the Trump effect. Trump is doing good things, but they have to root for him to fail. The problem is, this is not a relationship with your ex. This is something that affects all of us, right? So rooting for him to fail means you're rooting for the country to fail, which means you're rooting for me to fail, you to, everyone, your kids, all of this stuff. It's like I saw a guy who just posted about how he's like not signing his kids up for the Trump accounts. And look, in the comments he clarified, it's like oh, they didn't actually qualify. So he was kind of rage baiting. But then at the same time, he did clarify in the comments he could sign them up for the Trump accounts. He just didn't qualify for the 1,000. So it's like you're turning down free money because you don't like Trump now. Right? It's like you're literally hurting your kids, you're hurting your life, you're hurting everyone because you don't like one guy. And I get it. All right? Look, I have an ex. She's not a great person, okay? I get it. She's a really bad person, actually. She's done some very, very horrible things to me. Very, very bad things. If she fucking cured cancer, though, I'd be like, damn, I really hate that jerk. But gotta give her credit. And you know what? I felt this way during the Biden administration, quote, administration. But I remember having a conversation with my friend. We were standing outside on our front porch. Well, I say our because he was my next door neighbor and we both shared a stoop. We're standing outside on the stoop as we did back then, having a beer. And Trump had just, quote, lost. Biden had just, quote, won. All right. And all of the avenues of, fixing that problem had been exhausted. I don't know if you remember, but looked pretty much like Biden cheated. All right. And then there was a lot of, back and forth about recounts and this and this and that and whatever. But once it became clear that Trump was definitely not going to be the president, I remember I looked at my buddy and he's not a hardcore Trumper. He's definitely not a liberal, voted for Trump, etc. He said something like, "We're so fucked." And I said, "I hope we're not." Right? I said, "I hope we are not." I said, "I hope Biden does a really good job. I hope the Biden administration does a really good job. I hope the Democrats do a really good job. I hope that everything goes well." And I didn't like any of them because I care about my country more than I care about my dislike for the Democrat Party, for my dislike for the left, for my dislike for, I didn't really dislike Biden. That's kind of like, it's like disliking a freaking hospice patient. It's weird. Do you understand what I'm saying, though? I hoped, I prayed that everything would be fine. I didn't think it would be. I was wrong. Not wrong. I was right, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Like I just hoped for the best, but I did plan for the worst. And then, shortly into that administration, I said, here's the next thing I hope for, because clearly this is not going to happen. They are not going to do a good job. They are going to screw everything up. It's the same thing that I'm saying that I hope happens in New York City. I said, I hope it gets so effing bad that even the Democrats wake up, even the left wakes up. I hope it gets so bad that even the people that voted flip and they come back to sanity, because sometimes you really do need to hit bottom before you change. And I think that maybe we're starting to see that. So let's get into that a little bit later, but we also do have to get into the Daily Breakdown. The Daily Breakdown is when we go on the internet, we type in the word news, N-E-W-S, 4 simple letters, and we break it down. So we already talked about this yesterday, but let's go through it again because I don't know. Why not? It popped up. We have to break it down. We don't choose. Trump deleted the post with the AI image of himself as Jesus-like figure after outcry. I appreciate this headline, right? This is a decent news headline. It's not like Trump didn't portray himself as Jesus. He did portray himself as Jesus-like. That's fine. I mean, I told you yesterday I didn't like it. It also didn't ruin my day. Trump clarified. Everyone's saying that he's lying, but I think that maybe not. But hold on. Let's just read. We'll read, then we'll get to it. Okay. Less than a year. I'm sorry, guys. I just started reading and I was like, what? Less than a year after signing legislation that will pull nearly 12 million Americans off health insurance by gutting Medicaid. What? What the hell just happened here? This whole story just took a hard left. Okay. You know, look, I appreciate this, the headline, but damn, man, way to disappoint me slightly. I give one compliment to the fake news finally, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe they're turning things around. Nope. 12 million Americans are going to be pulled off of health insurance because Donald Trump gutted Medicaid? Are we talking about the one big beautiful bill? Are we talking about not allowing illegals to have Medicaid? Are we talking about when the Democrats shut down the government the first time because we needed reforms? Because Obamacare, the quote, Affordable Care Act that has become unaffordable is unaffordable. So we decided to change it a little bit. Is that what it is? Oh, man. I need more coffee for this. Give me a minute. 12 million Americans. Illegal Americans? Anyway. They're not Americans if they're illegal, by the way. Anyway. Spending 20 minutes on this first sentence. Let's move on. Regroup, reorient. Okay. The president since deleted the post, which also followed a lengthy tirade about Pope Leo the 14th, called him weak on crime, etc., etc. Riley Gaines, I read her statement. Stop coming after her. It's fine. She's allowed to be critical. It wasn't scorched earth. You guys take the internet way too seriously. She wrote she cannot understand why he'd post this. She said, is he looking for a response? Does he actually think this? Either way, two things are true. A little humility would serve him well. God shall not be mocked. I said something very similar yesterday. I said sometimes Trump should look at his phone and go, nah. Right? She said the same thing. Anyone that's coming after Riley Gaines, come on. That is punching right. Okay? Punching at Nick Fuentes, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and alike. That's not punching right. That's not infighting. That's common sense. That's cleaning up the tent. Punching at Riley Gaines. Come on. Let's use discernment. Okay? Isabella Brown said this was disgusting and unacceptable. Okay. Nothing matters more than Jesus. Okay. Soapbox, get off it. This goes to all Christians. I understand that you guys want to use your platform to spread the good word, but when your platform becomes a soapbox, when you become the dude on the sidewalk who yells at everybody walking by saying, "You're going to hell," then it becomes different. Obviously, you should spread the good word of Jesus. You should just not be continuously chastising other people when you're usually just reacting to something that you haven't even really researched or verified yet. It's more of a virtue signal. It's more of like what the left does. And I think that we need to get less of that on the internet. Anyway, we all know this story, so let's go and check out a quick little, let's go back to that. Sean Farish comes in with the assist, okay? The controversial Trump post was from Nick Adams in February. And again, I'm not saying you have to like it, but the hyperventilating over social media post was something I thought we left behind in 2017. There are bigger fish to fry. Sean Farish always coming in with the clear-headed post. Now, look, Trump said he thought he was a doctor, okay? And I don't think he's lying. I think that Trump thought that he was a doctor. Now, I understand that Trump probably understood that he was portraying himself as a holy figure, healing the sick. But look, Trump loves flattery. Trump sees things and he internalizes them. Maybe sees them as he's maybe a bit of a narcissist. A bit. A bit. Sometimes it's okay. I'm a bit of a narcissist. I love mirrors. So look, the post reads, America has been sick for a long time. Trump is healing this nation. Trump probably was like, I agree with that. And then probably went, yes, send. All right? Like, look, I stand by my statement from yesterday, okay? I don't necessarily like it every time he does stuff like this, right? Sometimes it's like he gets a little too close to the line of idiocracy. However, it's baked into the cake, guys. We've known this for a decade plus. Anyone right now in 2026, what is it? It is April 14th, 2026 at 8:20 a.m. Central Time. Anyone that is looking at this going like, what? It's like, bro, sit down. You had years to get triggered. This is not it. Okay? And I see people in the chat who are like, yeah, he is. He's a healer. He's healing the nation. They're kind of agreeing with this. And sure. I agree with you. Okay? Trump is doing a good job. And he really is. I'm a big fan. But the outrage all came from the same type of person, right? The outrage came from two different types of people. The outrage came from TDS people, obviously, because they're not really outraged. They just jump on anything. But the right-wing outrage, the outrage from, quote, his own side, it came from the holier-than-thou sometimes, Christian right? The evangelical Christian right. And guys, I gotta tell you, like, it turns people off. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't, like I said, I'm not saying that you shouldn't lead in faith with your actions, with your podcast. I'm not saying that you should judge when necessary, because I think that you should judge people. Like, I think that people really mess up that whole Judge not lest ye be judged, quote. It doesn't mean you can't judge. It means you shouldn't be a hypocrite. And I just think that we need to pull it back. We need to pull it back a little bit, okay? There's so much. Look, there's so much of this. Okay, you don't have to. This doesn't have to be on video. It'll be better if you see this on video, but you'll get it just by the sound. There's so much of this. Okay. Oh, what did blah 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 say? Oh. 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 Oh my God. Oh. That's what you. Shut up. You know for a fact when you saw that, you did not make that sound. You did not make that face. You went like this. Mm-hmm. Oh. And then you finished, I don't know, doing whatever you were doing. And then you sat there and you thought about it. And you were like, how can I make myself look so good right now? How can I trash him so that I can remind everybody that I'm not that bad? Psh, shut up. Guy took a bullet for you. Give him a minute. Give him some grace. All right? Not all. Criticize him when you should. Okay? Trump, Pam Bondi, fire her, stuff like that. Criticize him when you should. Don't have fake outrage. And if your outrage really was real, okay, maybe I'm not talking to you. Okay? Don't lace up every shoe and wear it. I might not be referring to you in case you're about to get outraged at me, in case you're about to look at this video and go, oh, Misfit said to stop chastising people on the air. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. I wasn't talking to you. Maybe now I am. Do you get it? Just a little more Bongino rule, maybe. A little more, wait. Maybe. You might be wrong on this one. Anyway. But this whole story actually came because Trump is not afraid to call out the Pope, right? Like I said yesterday, I think the Catholic Church has become more of a political organization than a holy one. I believe that. That's why I stopped going to Catholic Church. That's why I don't really know if I'm a Catholic, really. I mean, I'm still kind of trying to figure that out. I haven't fully abandoned it, but I'm pretty much out the door, right? When my mom passed away, we had a Catholic mass, Catholic service, and I took communion, and I've been a Catholic my whole life, so I didn't really feel any guilt for doing that. But the church itself, the man-made institution, not really down with that often. Anyway, this is Trump coming after the Pope. Okay, so everyone thinks that Trump, unprovoked, went after the Pope. Okay, here's the tweet that everybody's seen. Here's a 54-second clip from Trump taking questions.
I don't think he's doing a very good job. He likes crime, I guess. He hit us. Think of it. He's worried about fear. What about the fear when the ministers and the priests and all of those great people that were arrested during COVID, and in many cases they're outside 10 feet apart and they were arrested. So we don't like it. We don't like a pope that's going to say that it's okay to have a nuclear weapon. We don't want a pope that says crime is okay in our cities. I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of Pope Leo. He's a very liberal person, and he's a man that doesn't believe in stopping crime. He's a man that doesn't think that we should be toying with a country that wants a nuclear weapon so they can blow up the world. I'm not...
Okay. So Trump has 2 points of contention here, okay? He's got a point of contention with the Pope's stance on crime from public statements that he's made. He's got a point of contention with the Pope's stance on, let's just call it Islam, right? Because that's what it is. And here's some proof that Trump might have some weight behind this criticism. This is a tweet from Pope Leo from yesterday. After all this, okay? Communion between Christians and Muslims takes shape under the mantle of Our Lady of Africa. Here in Algeria, the maternal love of Lala Maryam gathers everyone as children within our rich diversity in our shared aspiration for dignity, love, justice, and peace. Okay, just to be clear here, Muslims, shared aspiration for dignity, love, justice, and peace. Calm down. Don't worry. In a world where division and wars sow death and pain, living in unity and peace is a compelling sign. Living in unity and peace is a compelling sign. Okay, Muslims living in unity, shared aspirations, Christians and Muslims. The majority of Muslims are good, wonderful, peaceful people. And it doesn't effing matter. All right. Every day you see the intro to this show where Tommy Robinson is saying the peaceful majority are irrelevant because statistically this is backed up, right? The vast majority of them, Muslims, not Islamists, not terrorists, not jihadists, Muslims, will not turn on a Muslim brother, even if they are joining ISIS, even if they are committing acts of terrorism. They won't turn them in. Even if they're committing a rape, they won't tell on them because their religious doctrine says they can't. The vast majority of Muslims, vast majority, want to pose some form of Sharia law. You can't be in unity with that, right? Because we are a nation of laws. We are also a Christian nation based on Judeo-Christian ethics and Western values. All of these things are contradictory with Muslims. I do not hate Muslims. I hate terrorists. I hate jihadists. I hate the sin, love the sinner, okay? I hate the sin. The sin is the act of Islam, enacting it, okay? And the people who do that, I hate those people, yes. Following? We tracking on this? Okay. So, when the Pope comes out and says stuff like that, it starts to lead me to believe that Trump might have valid criticisms of this Pope. That is not a Pope that understands why the Crusades were necessary. And I'm not saying the Crusades were great. I'm saying why they happened, right? Because Islam is incompatible with Christianity. It just is. It's not a something that I'm, saying out of hate or something. I'm just saying it's just not compatible. It does not work. And it's ironic that the Pope is talking about Africa because that's where a whole lot of Christians, I mean millions, are slaughtered because they're Christian by Islamists. So, I mean, if you wanted to, and we can go through the whole crime thing, and I don't care. I think that this is enough. I don't think we need to drag this on, right? This Pope does not represent me, okay? That's a man with a political opinion using his pulpit of Christianity or Catholicism to tell the world what people of my faith believe. And I don't believe that. Trump is the president and the leader of the world stage, right? Leader of the free world, who's going to war with, leading the new crusade, right? This is the without the Jews, without killing Jews, by the way. I mean, he's leading a new version of the crusade because what we have here is we have a new need for a new crusade. And that's the problem. They are having a beef right now because you have the leader of the Catholic Church saying that we can be compatible with people that want to kill us, and you have the leader of the free world saying we can't. I'm on Team Trump with that. I'm not on the Pope's side. All right, that's all. So, was the tweet a little insensitive? Was it a little much? Sure. Can you call it out? Absolutely. Does it require more context? Yes. We just went through it. There you go. Once again, and look, this is not against Riley Gaines or Isabella or anybody else that, you know, did the oh, right? I get it. All right. You're in the internet. Okay? I've done it too. We all make mistakes. I have looked at something before, gotten a little itchy finger, right? A little bit of an itchy finger, and I'm like, this is, and then the next day I'm like, nah, shit. You know, it's okay. It's okay. Just don't make it a habit. Understand that you did that. And I think Riley did. Riley came out and was like, look, I love President Trump. I support him, et cetera, et cetera. Had a couple other people. Gerald Morgan did the same thing. It's like, I'm glad he deleted the tweet and blah, blah, blah. Right? The evangelical Christians, the Protestants, we tend to, I said we because I don't know if I'm a Protestant. I don't know what I am. I don't care what I am. It's Christian. I'm a Christian. But the Protestants and the evangelicals, they tend to want to proselytize a little more than others, right? And that's all I'm saying. And the woke right, by the way, I don't know if you saw this. We just ADD little side note. I have nothing for this. Sorry for the language if you're reading. Oh, this is real. Tucker Carlson is now launching his new bookstore with Russell Brand. And it's How to Become a Christian in 7 Days. That's all you need to do. By this time next Tuesday, you can be a Christian if you pay, I don't know, $20 or whatever it is for Tucker Carlson and Russell Brand's book. Russell Brand, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this. It's quite possible he's a rapist. I mean, I'm not saying he is. I'm saying it's quite possible he is. It's like quite, or very possible he's a rapist. Like, let's wait for the court things to come out, okay? It is a non-zero chance he is a rapist who is using Christianity as a shield so that you don't judge him harshly when the evidence of said rapes come out. Very similar to Eric Swalwell, who came out and was like, release the Epstein files. And then we all know how that went. You guys get it? It's like, you know, there's an ungodly amount of people who are in the combat sex trafficking industry who engage in sex trafficking. It's a well-known fact in the anti-trafficking community. They find out that a lot of people who are actually sex trafficking kids have run organizations that are aimed at combating sex trafficking. Because, well, who's gonna think I'm doing it if I have an organization where I'm literally preventing this? How dare you question me? This happens in the church community. Hey, who's ever going to suspect a priest of touching a little kid? Who's ever going to think that the Catholic Church would ever cover that up too? They did. It happened. I'm saying, guys, there's a book. Well, it's like 70 books-ish. It's like between 66 and 72, depending on which Christianity you're part of. There's this thing called the Bible, okay? You open that up, you read it, then you read it again. Then you read it some more, and you keep reading it. And that's what you follow. You don't follow Tucker Carlson. You don't follow Russell Brand. You don't follow me. You don't follow the Pope. You don't follow Trump. You don't follow any of us on Christianity. The church is for community, right? Wherever two or more may gather, that is where you find me. That is the quote from the Bible where Jesus is talking about what a church is. A church is just a gathering of people. The word is in that book. I'm not proselytizing here. I'm just autistically common sensing you on Christianity. Sorry. Now I'm doing what I just bitched at them about, so let's move on. But I think we got that, right? This is not, you cannot become a Christian in 7 days by reading a potential rapist book. That's bottom line. And we'll see. Maybe Russell Brand is innocent. Maybe he's guilty as hell. I know one thing, he is definitely guilty of something because he's on video giving oral to, or a hand job. No, wait, was it hand job? Yes, you get on video giving a hand job to a man in a bathroom stall for clicks on the internet. And it's like, that wasn't that long ago. It's like, what are we doing here? Let's get back to the news, I guess. Okay, we talked about this yesterday, so we don't need to deal with that. Middle East crisis. Is it? We'll get to that. Top U.S. Senate Democrats again try for war powers resolution as it happened. They can't just do their job. They have to try to stop Trump every day. Again, TDS. All right, let's move on from that. It looks like it's just Pope. Judge, we're not going to be able to read this, but suit against the Wall Street Journal. Okay, Trump got a lawsuit dismissed from the Wall Street Journal that he filed against the Wall Street Journal. I don't care about world news today. Let's just, before we get to the story, actually, well, it's 8:40. If you guys aren't aware, just real quick, because it's all over the place. I don't need to pile on. Eric Swalwell resigned from Congress. Okay, that was kind of expected, right? The Democrats all turned on him all at once. We talked about why that happened yesterday. This was not about some moral dilemma between the Democrat Party. They wanted to get their guy in because they could not fathom California being run by a governor that is Republican. So if you look here, here you go. And there it is. Tom Steyer is now projected to win the California governor race after Swalwell drops out. Okay, right here. Okay, this is why they, and I mean the people who have been sitting on this information for years, this is why they dropped it against Swalwell. Okay, like they threw him under the bus, and they don't care because they can replace Swalwell. Swalwell's just a useful idiot. He's just a cog in the machine. But Steve Hilton and Chad Bianco were going to win the top 2 seats in California, and California has a jungle primary where everybody runs, and the top 2 spots were Republicans. So if Swalwell was in 3rd place and he didn't overtake Bianco or Hilton, the primary would have been between two Republicans. That's how it works, right? Or sorry, the general election would have been between two Republicans. So they threw Eric Swalwell under the bus. They've known about all of his, shady ongoings for years. They have all the same type of stuff on Adam Schiff. They have the proof that Nancy Pelosi is, guilty of manipulating the stock market, insider trading. They have proof on everyone. They have all of the dirt. And if you ever get a conversation where you go, all right, so this is probably what happened. Eric Swalwell was like, I'm going to run for governor. And then somebody probably came up to him and was like, somebody in the Democrat Party probably was like, Eric, we need you to drop out because there's the field is too flooded. Right? The field's too flooded. And he probably said, no. He probably said, I deserve this. I've put in so much time for you people. I've towed the line. I've done all the things. I slept with a Chinese spy for sakes. And they probably were like, are you sure? And he was like, yeah. And they were like, okay. All right, good luck in your race. And then the next day, it was like 4 women accused him of rape. They called all of them, and they were like, "Okay, look, you know that guy that raped you? You remember when we covered it up? All right, we're gonna let you say it. Okay, yes, and yes, we're gonna give you some more money. Yep, we gave you hush money. Now we're gonna give you talk money." We gave you the hush money. We're going to give you the talkie money. All those women that you see that are running around accusing him of rape, he probably raped them. But they also probably said, I'm okay with it. Give me money. And now they're going to give them more money to be like, this is absolute. And you know what the Republicans need to do? Let it go. He's done. Let the FBI investigate it, obviously. I'm not saying let him get away with it. I'm saying, Anna Paulina Luna, you, look at me. Shut up. Shut up. You're not a detective. Go do your job. Nancy Mace is going to come out any minute now. And she's going to be like, we need to make new laws because... No. You need to pass the Save America Act and you need to get your ass into those seats in Congress and off of Fox News. That's what you need to do. How about you all just shut up and do your job? Let the FBI do FBI stuff. Let the cops do cop stuff. And you make laws. Fix shit. Get off of my television. Get off of my TV. Why am I seeing you all the time? You should be doing your job. Public servants, not reality TV stars or social media influencers. You don't know your jobs. Aggravating. All right, 15 minutes left. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of the Trump effect, okay? Because Trump won, Colbert is fired, Howard Stern is fired, Joy Reid is fired, Jim Acosta is gone, Neil Cavuto is gone, Lester Holt is gone, Chuck Todd is gone, Chris Wallace is gone, PBS is defunded, NPR is defunded, USET is gone, white people are back in commercials, morbidly obese black women are appearing less frequently in commercials, Disney removed a teenage trans girl from their show Win or Lose, Black Captain America tanked, ABC had to give Trump $17 million for lying about him, AP had to cut 8% of its workforce, Univision had to lay off several hundred workers. CNN ratings are a week-to-week death spiral. So are MSNBC's. Wolf Blitzer and Jake Tapper were denied raises. Rachel Maddow had to take a pay cut. Justin Trudeau resigned. And the Gulf of Mexico is now the Gulf of America. That's the Trump effect. But what's the real Trump effect? Right? The real Trump effect is... Here, let's get rid of... what did I just do? I just got rid of something that I wanted. Hold on, let's see if I still have it. Either way, it's fine. It's fine. We had plenty to go off of. Okay, sorry. I just X'd out of something that I was going to use. The real Trump effect, right, is ignoring success. Okay? Ignoring the fact that he's not an idiot and that everything he's doing is actually working in your favor, and hoping that he fails in those endeavors, right? Now, I've been telling you about what the war in Iran, what the operation in Venezuela was about, what the strategic chess pieces being moved around. Even Greenland, by the way. Greenland's part of it. Going after Canada's part of it. There's so much that's all leading back to one place. Okay? And here's an amazing image. If you're watching, if you're listening, I'll try to describe it to you. But if you're watching, I want you to pay attention to this map, okay? This is from James E. Thorne. Food for thought. Yes, the new great game is unfolding. No nation stands to gain more from a closure of the Strait of Hormuz than the United States. That sounds a lot like America first. No nation stands to gain more across the short, medium, and long term. The logic is embedded in Trump's national security strategy, with the Trump doctrine now visible in practice. Strategically, China loses on multiple fronts with Hormuz closed. Have I been telling you that this is what it's all about for weeks now? Yes. Right? It's all about China. It's not about Iran. It's not about Venezuela. It's not about Cuba. It's not about freeing people. It's not about the drugs. It's not about this. It's not about that. It's all about China. Yes, it's about all those things, but why he's doing it is about China. And what I'm about to show you is a map of why. Seaborne Middle Eastern supplies are constrained just as Venezuelan crude oil is increasingly redirected towards the U.S. Gulf Coast. Holy shit! Isn't that interesting? Must be a coincidence. Not like Trump maybe did that on purpose before he did the other thing, which he was then going to do the next thing. Venezuelan crude is being redirected towards the Gulf Coast. The Strait of Hormuz is now being blockaded by the U.S. Navy. Not the oil coming through it, the Iranian ships, or not the Iranian ships, the Iranian-backed, I guess you could call it proxies, right? Trust me, Trump's not an idiot. At the same time, the Strait of Malacca, Malacca. Sounds like that's right. I don't know. And with it, the broader Malacca dilemma moves the center of gravity in parallel. The Sunda, Lombok, this guy knows a lot of words that I don't. Anyway, here it is. Okay, look. Land barriers. Okay, you have land barriers here in the blue. These are all land barriers for China. Okay? You have maritime routes and choke points, and you have the Strait of Malacca, and all of these routes. Basically, this is China's limitations. Okay, this is the limitations of China. Now, let's check out this. This isn't the Strait of Hormuz. This is the Gulf of America. Hundreds of super tankers from every corner of the planet are racing to Texas, my state, what up, and Louisiana to fill up on the sweetest, cheapest, most American oil on earth. The globalist chokehold is broken. America is the new gas station for the planet. Huh. Almost like he did it on purpose. Almost like this was America first the whole time. Look at this. Imagine being in Cuba with no lights. You just see out into the water, you just see just every 5 minutes like, oh shit. Probably shouldn't have partnered with China. Maybe should have given America a chance. There's a new sheriff in town, boys and girls, and he's America first. Trust me. Here's another amazing map that gives you a visible representation of why Trump did this. Okay, so we have the map of limitations. Now we have the roots. Okay, energy, C lines of communication. These are the routes in which energy moves across the globe. You following? Okay. You have the Panama Canal, Venezuela, Strait of Hormuz, Iran, Straits of Malacca, Indonesia, South China Sea, Strait of Taiwan. You guys getting that? Okay, look at this map here. Okay, you have Iran. Okay, here's the Strait of Hormuz. This is where oil would come out. Okay, look, see how it goes here, down here, over here, right? You have, remember those physical barriers. Okay, so it's not like Iran, it's not like you can go from here to here. That would make perfect sense, right? Wouldn't it be like advantageous for you to just go whoop, right? But we got these land barriers. You see? You get it? Okay, so we have the land barriers, which is why they take it from the Strait of Hormuz around here. That's why they do that. Now, the U.S. Navy is here going, screw you. No. Which is resulting in this. Right? So, see these little pockets of red, right? The anti-Trumper, pretty funny watching all the anti-Trumpers come to the realization that Trump is not closing the strait, he's securing it. The U.S. Navy are running grid patterns, demining the strait, and blockading Iranian ports. Only Iranian ports, making it safe for commercial shipping. The U.S. doesn't want any Iranian ship capable of dropping a mine moving. It's really not that complicated, okay? The strait is still moving. You have these pockets. You have U.S. ships, U.S. Navy coming in and making sure everything's secured, except for the trade routes that are going to China. So this is resulting in this right here. The entire world is now coming about 2 hours that way. 2 hours that way to go get their gas. And it all started with Maduro. Actually, started a little bit before that. Trump was talking about, it started with renaming it the Gulf of America, if you can believe it or not. Remember when Trump was like, we should rename it the Gulf of America? Now, you know what? In fact, Trump telegraphed his punches even more subtly than that. Trump renamed the Department of Defense the Department of War, renamed the Gulf of America, renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America, made a play for Greenland, and did a whole bunch of other things. Let's not, go through the exhaustive list again, because I already have. I'm pretty sure that my track record of going through it is, if you haven't seen it before, go back and rewind. He did all of this. It was almost like he had this plan. It's almost like there were these things, these pieces that he was putting into place the whole time. And it's all coming together now. But meanwhile, there are still people that hope the plane crashes. Even though this flight the Wi-Fi works. The Wi-Fi works. Right? In fact, drinks are free. We're ahead of schedule. There's no turbulence. The only annoying thing on this flight is the asshole in the back with the blue hair that keeps on saying that they hope the plane crashes. That's the only part of this flight that sucks. It's also like people like Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly and the Hodgkins and all these other people. They're like, really hope this plane crashes. That's what they're doing. All right, that's what blackpilling and doomerism is, right? It's just basically just a bunch of people saying this flight sucks. This plane sucks. The pilot sucks. Everything sucks. And it doesn't. They're just trying to convince you that the reason why you're having a bad experience on this plane is the pilot, when it's really them. It's really just the annoying crying babies. That's why the flight sucks. So put on your headphones and we will get to our destination. But for the love of God, please, do not try and take the plane down because they convinced you that we need to get into the cockpit and replace the pilot. Because that's the next move. They will crash that plane. They will crash that plane with you on it, with them on it, with every one of us on it, because Trump derangement syndrome is not logical. All right? It's just like it's not logical from the analogy that I told you earlier, to hate somebody because they did something to you, right? But they also cured cancer, right? You get it. Your ex cheated with your best friend, then cured cancer, and you're like, wish you didn't. You know, that's exactly what's going on. That's what that's why TDS Tuesday is we dedicate a full day to it. We dedicate most days to an ideology, right? Most days we dedicate to this woke ideology, right? The woke, the victim. We have Woke Wednesday, TDS Tuesday, and Fan Mail Friday. All the same theme, slightly different ways of delivering that. All right. It's just I am a victim. My life sucks. Your life sucks. Everything sucks. I'm a victim. You're not. Things are not as bad as you think they are. And everything will be fine if you just shut up. Maybe go get a job. Hit the gym. I don't know. Do something. All right, boys and girls. That hour flew by. Sean Farish is coming up next with Ungoverned. Let's do some shout-outs until that clock strikes 9. Audrey K612, Mutt Mom, W. Wilson 1964, Soylent Goy. Is that a thumbs down for me? Mellow Cat 29, Kit Kat Mar, One Sandman, Fun Mon, Great Guy Gary, T. Hodges, thanks T. Hodges, Crazy Moan McGroin, N Pain, and there it is, 9 a.m. Sean Farish, enjoy. I will see you tomorrow for Woke Wednesday. Hope everybody enjoys the rest of your day. See you later.
A partially valid, a half-truth, if you will, is being pushed.
I can't wait to find out all sorts of new and exciting things I didn't know about myself.
So you just hate Jews, bro.
Yeah, you're just an anti-Semite. Congratulations.
You're
Go
not.
join.
What would you say?
Exactly.
Well, that's different. It's not different. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's
That just we are the only society on Earth who has the obligation to self-destruct, to blame ourselves for every problem that has ever existed, and we just think of ourselves as the worst human beings who are responsible for every bad.
How many Muslims are trying to stop Boko Haram? How many Muslims were confronting ISIS? How many Muslims, the extremists always win. So the peaceful majority, of which I know many, they're irrelevant.